Mount Diablo has attracted some famous botanists over the years. Let's start with the Scotsman David Douglas, for whom the Douglas fir and more than 80 other plants were named. In the 1830s, Douglas was on the west coast of North America collecting plants for England's Royal Horticultural Society. We know that he came to this area because he sent back samples of the Mount Diablo fairy lantern, a species that grows on and around Mount Diablo and nowhere else. At the beginning of the 20th century, a woman botanist started making discoveries in a world dominated by men.
Alice Eastwood, who's curator of the West's most preeminent scientific academy, the California Academy of Sciences. And she's out on the mountain and she's collecting manzanitas for the first time. So Mount Diablo manzanita and Contra Costa manzanita. She was out there collecting those things and describing them first, new to science. But then you jump forward in time till the 1970s, and a later successor to Alice Eastwood, who was John Howell, who was a curator of the Cal Academy of Sciences in the 70s, and he was up on Mount Diablo and he found yet another new species, which was a true endemic to Mount Diablo. The Mount Diablo's bird's beak, only known from 1-2 locations on the mountain. And so it's that sort of feeling that, wow, all the way from the 1830s to the 1970s, there was still things being discovered on Mount Diablo. So then you throw in David Goen, who is a retired carpenter turned botanical expert, particularly in the phlox family. In 2008, he found a new species of a phlox family member, a Navarretia, that ended up getting named after him because of his keen eye.
Heath and Brian have made a name for themselves too, not only for their fire research, but also for an observation they made at Black Diamond Mines Regional Preserve in 2016. Here, just northeast of the mountain, they found a huge population of a flower thought to be nearly extinct. The Mount Diablo buckwheat was first described by William Brewer of the California Geological Survey in the 1860s. Mary Bowerman recorded seeing it in 1936. But then for 69 years, the species seemed to be missing.
The story goes that in 2005 it was rediscovered by Mike Park on Mount Diablo, and that population, since its rediscovery, has only produced maybe up to 50 plants every year. Mike Park always said he was on extinction watch. But doing some work out there for East Bay Regional Park District, we ended up finding a very large population of Mount Diablo buckwheat, on the order of 2 million plants.
The spirit of discovery is still alive around Mount Diablo. With that in mind, we suggest that you head out to see what you can find in a quiet little place called Back Canyon. Starting at Mitchell Canyon Visitor Center on the north side of the mountain, follow Oak Road and then the Coulter Pine Trail for 0.6 of a mile. Veer right on Bruce Lee Road for 0.2 of a mile, cross the creek, and head upward on the Back Creek Trail. From there, it's 1.9 miles to the turnaround point at Murchio Gap.
So Back Canyon on the north side of Mount Diablo is said to have been Mary Bowerman's favorite spot on the mountain, her favorite canyon. And I wonder about that. What was it about Back Canyon that Mary Bowerman appreciated so much? And I think in part that it's because the topography there it's so narrow and closed in. All the vegetation communities are just kind of dripping into that canyon. You get a lot of diversity there, and you get running water, which, you get higher up on the mountain, it's hard to come by. You get ferns, you get a lot of different shrubs and trees, you get vines, but I think maybe the thing that I feel Mary might have been most appreciative of, it was the intimacy, because it was so narrow and because it was kind of off the beaten trail, that you could go out there and feel alone and be in a place on the mountain where the world was such a great distance away, when you could just appreciate the plants and hear the running water and look up at Eagle Peak and just enjoy what that moment brought right there.
There may have been another reason Mary Bowerman liked Back Canyon so much. She and her organization, Save Mount Diablo, worked hard to get it added to the state park in the 1970s. And if you've worked to protect a place, you learn to appreciate it.